Good day, everyone. Today we'll be tackling the ethical-legal consideration in nursing research. Ethical-legal consideration in nursing research are fundamental in ensuring the integrity, safety, and rights of participants while advancing scientific knowledge in healthcare. These considerations encompasses a complex interplay of ethical principles and legal requirements that guide researchers throughout the research process. Nurses engaged in research must navigate the intersection of three distinct value systems: the nursing, science, and society, which can sometimes conflict with the values of research subjects, communities, and cultures. This necessitates a thorough understanding of ethical duties, international and national ethical principles, and the historical context of human experimentation that has shaped current research practices. Key ethical principles in nursing research include respect for autonomy, beneficence, non-maleficence, justice, and confidentiality. These principles are reinforced by legal frameworks such as informed consent requirements, privacy laws, example HIPAA, and regulations for governing the protection of vulnerable populations. As healthcare evolves, nursing researchers must remain vigilant in maintaining ethical oversight and control, ensuring that their studies adhere to ethical principles, are scientifically sound, and undergo independent review. This commitment to ethical legal considerations not only protects research participants but also upholds the integrity of the nursing profession and contributes to the advancement of evidence-based practice. Here are the objectives of this discussion. Here are the objectives of our discussions today. Let's start with the right to self-determination. Self-determination refers to an individual's ability to make choices and control their life without external influence or coercion. This concept is exemplified by students choosing their own career path based on their interests, skills, and values rather than succumbing to the pressure from family or society. Importance in personal development. The significance of self-determination in personal growth cannot be overstated. When an employee sets and pursues professional goals, they are exercising self-determination, which enhances personal growth, motivations, and overall well-being. This process allows individuals to align their actions with their values and interests, leading to greater job satisfaction and career advancement. Psychological needs. Self-determination theory identifies three innate psychological needs: competence, autonomy, and relatedness. These needs are illustrated when a person joins a supportive community to learn a new skill. In this scenario, they are satisfying their need for competence by acquiring new abilities, autonomy by choosing to learn, and relatedness by connecting with like-minded individuals. Intrinsic motivation. Self-determined actions are driven by internal interests and goals rather than external rewards or pressures. This is evident when an individual pursues a hobby for personal enjoyment. Motivation comes from within, leading to greater satisfaction and persistence in the activity, as opposed to engaging in tasks solely for external rewards or to avoid punishment. Goal setting and achievement. Self determination plays a crucial role in goal setting and achievement. An athlete, for example, creating and following a training plan demonstrates this aspect. By setting personal goals, taking the initiative to design a plan, and persisting through challenges, the athlete embodies self determination in pursuit of their desired outcomes. Thus, self determination is a powerful force in personal development, driving individuals to make autonomous choices, pursue meaningful goals, and achieve personal growth. And by understanding and fostering self determination, we can empower ourselves and others to lead more fulfilling and purposeful lives. Self determination is critical skill set that empowers individuals to take control of their lives and make informed choices. By developing these key components, you can enhance your ability to navigate challenges and achieve personal goals. Goal setting is essential for providing direction and motivation. When you set clear, achievable goals, you create a roadmap for success and increase your likelihood of realizing your aspirations. Remember to make your goals smart, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Decision making skills are crucial for navigating life's complexities. By developing strong decision making abilities, you'll be better equipped to weigh options, consider consequences, and make choices that align with your values and objectives. Practice by conscientiously evaluating decisions in your daily life, no matter how small. Problem solving is a fundamental skill that allows you to overcome obstacles and find creative solutions. By honing your solving abilities, you'll become more resilient and adaptable in the face of challenges. Approach problems systematically. These identify the issues, brainstorm solutions, evaluate options, implement a plan, and reflect on the outcome. Self advocacy is vital for ensuring your needs and rights are respected. By developing these skills, you'll be better able to communicate your requirements effectively and stand up for yourself in various situations. Practice assertive communication and learn about your rights and responsibilities. Self awareness forms the foundation of self determination. By understanding your strengths, weaknesses, values, and motivations, you can make more informed decisions and set realistic goals. Regularly reflect on your experiences and seek feedback from others to enhance your self awareness. Choice making is, is an essential aspect of autonomy. By exercising your ability to make choices, you take an active role in shaping your life experiences. Start by making small decisions independently and gradually work up to more significant choices. By focusing on developing these key components of self determinations, we will be better equipped to take control of our lives, achieve your goals, and navigate challenges with confidence and competence. But how we could describe self-determination contributes to autonomy and quality of life. Self-determination plays a crucial role in promoting autonomy and enhancing the quality of life for individuals with disabilities and chronic health conditions. Research has consistently shown that higher levels of self-determination are associated with improved outcomes across various life domains. When individuals with disabilities exercise self-determination, they actively engage in decision-making processes that affect their lives. This autonomy is not about isolation, but rather about making choices that align with personal values, goals, and needs. For instance, when people with intellectual disabilities participate in decisions about their living arrangement, they experience greater satisfaction and maintain a sense of control over lives. Self-determination significantly contributes to psychological well-being. Studies have shown that individuals with chronic health conditions who exhibit higher levels of self-determination report greater life satisfaction, more positive emotions, and lower levels of anxiety and depression. This improved mental state directly translates to higher quality of life. Moreover, self-determination fosters instinct motivation, which is crucial for personal growth and achievement. When young adults with autism are self-determined, they're more likely to pursue vocational training and educational goals for their inherent satisfaction rather than external rewards. This intrinsic motivation leads to greater persistence, creativity, and overall performance in various life domains. In healthcare setting, self-determination plays a vital role in improving outcomes and quality of life. When individuals with physical disabilities are actively involved in the treatment decision, they're more likely to adhere to treatment plans and experience better health outcomes. Even in challenging life circumstances, such as homelessness, self-determination has been linked to higher quality of life. By setting and working towards personal goals, individuals can maintain a sense of purpose and control, which contributes to their overall well-being. Lastly, determination enhances interpersonal relationship by improving communication skills and assertiveness. When individuals with developmental disabilities can effectively express their needs and boundaries, they're more likely to form and maintain healthy relationships, which are crucial for life satisfaction. Therefore, cultivating self-determination is essential for enhancing autonomy and quality of life for individuals with disabilities and chronic health conditions. By developing these skills, they investing a more fulfilling, satisfying, and self-directed experience. Now, let's discuss right to privacy. What are the concept of privacy and how this is a fundamental human right? Privacy is recognized as fundamental right in various international treaties and declarations, including the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. This right is crucial in research contexts where participants often share sensitive personal information. The concept of privacy as a fundamental human right encompasses several key aspects. First, it protects personal autonomy by allowing individuals to control what information about themselves is shared and with whom. This is particularly important in research settings, where participants must be able to make informed decisions about their involvement and the extent of information they disclose. Privacy also safeguards human dignity and respect. In research, this means protecting sensitive information, such as medical records or personal experiences, from unauthorized access or disclosure. This protection is essential for maintaining trust between researchers and participants, and for upholding the ethical standards of research. Furthermore, Privacy is closely linked to freedom of thought and expression. By ensuring anonymity and confidentiality, privacy allows research participants to express their opinions, beliefs, and experiences freely without fear of judgment or repercussions. This is crucial for obtaining honest and accurate data in studies involving sensitive topics or vulnerable populations. Privacy also serves as a shield against potential harm. In research involving sensitive subjects, such as studies on domestic violence or stigmatized health conditions, protecting participants' privacy can be a matter of personal safety and well-being. Lastly, the right to privacy includes the protection of personal data. In this digital age, this aspect has become increasingly important. Researchers have a responsibility to implement robust data protection measures, including secure storage, limited access, and proper disposal of personal information collected during studies. That's why recognizing privacy as a fundamental human right in research context is essential for maintaining ethical standards, protecting participants, and ensuring the integrity of the research process. It underpins the principles of informed consent, confidentiality, and respect for human dignity that are central to ethical research practices. Why privacy in personal and digital context is important. Privacy is a fundamental aspect of human dignity and autonomy, playing a crucial role in both personal and digital contexts. In research settings, privacy takes on even greater importance due to the sensitive nature of information often collected and the power dynamics between researchers and participants. In personal context, privacy allows individuals to establish boundaries and maintain control over their personal information. This is particularly important for vulnerable populations, such as those with disabilities or chronic health conditions. Research has shown that when individuals can exercise self determination and privacy, they experience higher levels of psychological well being and life satisfaction. For example, a study participant with an intellectual disability choosing their living engagements not only respects their privacy but also contributes to their sense of autonomy and overall quality of life. In digital contexts, privacy concerns become more even pronounced due to the vast amount of personal data collected, stored, and shared online. The ease of data collection and analysis is in digital environments creates new challenges for privacy protection. For instance, in a study tracking online learning patterns, researchers must carefully anonymize data and implement secure storage protocols to protect participant privacy. This not only safeguards individuals from potential harm, but also builds trust between researchers and participants, leading to more honest and accurate research outcomes. Privacy also plays a crucial role in protecting freedom of expression and thought. In studies involving sensitive topics such as political opinions or experiences of discrimination, ensuring anonymity and confidentiality is essential. These protections allow participants to express themselves freely without fear or of repercussion, leading more authentic and valuable research data. Moreover, privacy is uh, intrinsically linked to data security, especially in digital research contexts. With increasing prevalence of data breaches and cyber threats, Protecting participants' personal information has become a critical ethical and practical concern. Implementing robust data protection measures such as secure storage, limited access, and proper disposal of personal information is essential for maintaining the integrity of research and protecting participants from potential harm. Now let's identify potential threats to privacy and strategies to protect personal information. Protecting personal information in research settings is crucial for maintaining ethical standards, ensuring participant trust, and complying with data protection regulations. As research increasingly involved in digital data collection storage, the potential privacy threats have become more complex and diverse. Data breaches represent a significant threat to research participants' privacy. For instance, in a medical study, unauthorized access to health records could expose sensitive information about participants' conditions or treatment. To mitigate this risk, researchers should implement robust encryption methods for data at rest and in transit and ensure secure storage practices such as using firewalls and regularly updating security systems. Insiders threats pose a unique challenge as they involve individuals who already have authorized access to data. In an economic behavior study, a dishonest research assistant might be tempted to sell participants' financial data. That's an example. To combat this, strict access controls should be implemented, limiting data access to only those who need it for a specific roles. Regular security audits and monitoring of data access logs can help detect any suspicious activity. Phishing attacks can target both researchers and participants. An example, in a social media study, participants might receive fraudulent emails attempting to steal their login credentials. Protecting against this threat involves providing cybersecurity training to both research staff and participants, as well as implementing multi-factor authentication for accessing research-related accounts and data. Unintended data disclosure can occur when researchers inadvertently reveals identifiable informations in published results. For instance, in a study on a sensitive political opinions, insufficient anonymization could lead to participants being identified. To prevent this, researchers should employ thorough data anonymization techniques and have rigorous review processes in place before publishing any results. Next, third-party data. Third-party data sharing present risks when collaborating with other organizations. If a partner in a collaborative psychology study mishandles participant data, it could lead to privacy breaches. To mitigate this, clear data sharing agreements should be established detailing how data will be handled, stored, and protected. Diligence should be conducted on all partners to ensure that they have adequate data protections measures in place. Unsecured devices poses a significant risk as well, especially with the rise of remote work and mobile data collection. If a researcher's laptop containing interview transcripts from a sensitive study, for example, domestic violence, is stolen, it could compromise participants' privacy and safety. And to address this, all devices should used for research should be encrypted And capabilities for remote wiping should be enabled in case of loss or theft. Let's proceed discussing the right to anonymity and confidentiality. What is the difference between anonymity and confidentiality in research and particularly in data collection? Anonymity and confidentiality are crucial concepts in research ethics, particularly when it comes to protecting participants' privacy and rights. While often used interchangeably, these terms have distinct meanings and implications for research design and data management. Anonymity in research means that there is no way for anyone, including the researcher, to personally identify participants in the study. This is the highest level of privacy protection. For example, in an online survey about political opinions, no IP addresses, names, or any other identifying information will be collected. The researcher would have no way to link responses to specific individuals. Anonymity is often prepared in studies dealing with sensitive topics, as it can encourage more honest and responses from participants. While confidentiality means that while the researcher can identify participants, they take steps to ensure that the participants' identities are not revealed to anyone outside the study. In a medical study, for instance, patients' records might be coded with numbers instead of names, and the key linking these codes to identifies will be stored securely and separately from the data. The choice between anonymity and confidentiality are often depends on the nature of the research. Anonymity is not always possible or desirable, especially in studies that require follow-up where the ability to withdraw data is important. Confidentiality allows for these options while still providing a high level of privacy protection. In practice, ensuring true anonymity can be challenging, especially in digital age. Even when no direct identifiers and are collected, the combinations of demographic information or specific responses might make it possible to identify individuals in small specific populations. Researchers must be vigilant about potential indirect identifiers. Confidentiality requires careful data management practices. This includes secure storage or identifying informations, use of pseudonyms or codes in data analysis and reporting, and strict protocols for who can access the data and under what circumstances. Both anonymity and confidentiality are essential ethical considerations in research. They protect participants from potential harm that could result from their identities being revealed. Encourage participation and honest responses, and maintain trust between researchers and participants. Thus, researcher must clearly communicate to participants which level of privacy protection they can expect and ensure that their practices align with their promises. What is the ethical importance of maintaining anonymity and confidentiality in research? You see, maintaining anonymity and confidentiality is a paramount ethical importance in research involving human subjects. These principles are foundational to protecting participants' rights, ensuring their well-being, and upholding the integrity of research process. Firstly, anonymity and confidentiality serve as crucial safeguards against potential harm to research participants. In studies involving sensitive topics, for example, such as domestic violence or workplace discrimination, protecting participants' identities can shield them from retaliation, stigmatization, or other negative consequences. This protection is not just an ethical imperative, but also a practical necessity for conducting research on vulnerable populations or sensitive issues. Secondly, these principles play a vital role in encouraging honest and open participation in research. When participants are assured that their responses will remain anonymous or confidential, they are more likely to provide truthful and comprehensive information. This is particularly important in studies dealing with sensitive health behaviors, political opinions, or other topics where social desirability bias might otherwise influence responses. The assurance of privacy can lead more accurate and reliable data, thereby enhancing the overall quality and validity of research. Furthermore, respecting anonymity and confidentiality is essential aspect of upholding participants' autonomy and dignity. By allowing individuals to control the extent to which their personal information is shared, researchers acknowledge participants as active agents in the research process rather than mere subjects of study. This respect for autonomy is a cornerstone of ethical research practice and helps to balance the power dynamic between researchers and participants. Maintaining confidentiality also builds trust between researchers and participants, which is crucial for long-term viability of human subjects research. When researchers consistently demonstrate their commitment to protecting participant privacy, it fosters a climate of trust that can encourage future participation in research studies. This trust is essential for advancing scientific knowledge, particularly in fields that rely heavily on human participation. Additionally, adhering to anonymity and confidentiality standards is often a legal requirement, as well as an ethical one. Many countries have strict laws governing the protection of personal data, especially in medical research. By implementing robust data protection measures, researchers not only fulfill their ethical obligations but also protect themselves and their institution from potential legal repercussions. Lastly, anonymity and confidentiality contribute to the overall integrity of scientific process. How? By preventing the identification of individual participants, researchers reduce the risk of bias in data collection, in analysis, and even in reporting. This helps to ensure that the research findings are based on aggregate data rather than influenced by knowledge of individual participants' identities or characteristics. Therefore, maintaining anonymity and confidentiality is not just a procedural requirement, but a fundamental ethical principle that underpins the entire research enterprise. It protects participants, enhances data quality, respects individual rights, builds trust, ensures legal compliance, and preserves scientific integrity. As such, researchers must prioritize these principles throughout the research process, from the study design to data collection, analysis, and dissemination of results. The question is how ensure or what are the methods to ensure anonymity and confidentiality in terms of research practices? These methods are essential safeguards that researchers must implement throughout the entire research cycle, from data collection to dissemination of results. The use of pseudonyms or codes is a fundamental technique for maintaining confidentiality. By assigning unique identifiers to participants, researchers can link data to individuals without revealing their identities. This is particularly important in studies dealing with sensitive topics, such as workplace discriminations, where participants might fear repercussion in their response were identifiable. Data encryption is a critical method for protecting electronic information, especially in medical studies or other research involving sensitive personal data. By encrypting data, researchers add an extra layer of security, making it extremely difficult for unauthorized parties to access or decipher the information, even if they manage to obtain the data files. Secure data storage, both physical and digital, is also essential for maintaining confidentiality. This involves using locked cabinets for paper documents and secure servers for electronic data. In studies involving highly sensitive information, such as research on domestic violence, these measures are crucial for protecting participants from potential harm. Limiting access to identifiable information is another key strategy. By restricting who can access participant details, researchers minimize the risk of accidental or intentional breaches of confidentiality. This is particularly important in longitudinal studies where participants' contact information must be retained for follow-up. Anonymization techniques are crucial for ensuring true anonymity in research. In online surveys, for example, removing IP addresses or other digital identifiers can prevent the linking of responses to specific individuals. This is especially important in studies on sensitive topics like political opinions, where anonymity can encourage more honest responses. Finally, aggregated reporting is a method used to protect individual privacy when disseminating research findings. By representing results in a aggregated form, researchers can share valuable insights without risking the identifications of individual participants. This is particularly important in studies involving vulnerable populations or sensitive behaviors. So, the following methods I discussed for ensuring anonymity and confidentiality are not just procedural requirements, but fundamental ethical practices in research. They protect participants, enhance data quality, and maintain the integrity of research process. Researchers must carefully consider and implement these methods throughout their studies to uphold ethical standards and build trust with their participants. Now let's discuss right to fair treatment. What is fair treatment in various contexts, including in education or in research? Fair treatment is a fundamental ethical principle that applies across various contexts, including education and research. It involves treating individuals without discrimination, while also recognizing and accommodating individual differences and needs. In educational setting, fair treatment goes beyond simply treating all students equally. It requires educators to recognize that the students come from diverse backgrounds and have different learning needs. As noted in the Educational Week article, Treating students fairly means providing students with equal access to the specific kinds of support and depth of support that they need. This might involve providing additional resources or accommodation to students with learning disabilities or those from disadvantaged backgrounds to ensure they have an equal opportunity to succeed. In research contexts, fair treatment is crucial for maintaining ethical standards and ensuring the validity of research outcomes. This involves not only treating all participants equally, but also considering their circumstances. For example, researchers might need to offer flexible scheduling for interviews or provide translation services to ensure all participants can fully engage in research process, regardless of their work schedules or language abilities. Classroom assessment is another area where fair treatment is essential. As highlighted in recent research, fair assessment practices involve the absence of bias, the equitable treatment of all test takers in testing process, and equity is an opportunity to learn the material in an achievement test. This might involve using a variety of assessment methods to accommodate different learning styles or providing additional time for students with processing difficulties. In the workplace, fair treatment involves providing equal opportunities for advancement and success while also recognizing individual circumstances. This might include offering flexible work arrangement to accommodate employees with caregiving responsibilities or providing additional training opportunities for employees from underrepresented groups. Across all these contexts, the key fair treatment is balancing the principles of equality, in which treating everyone the same, with the principles of equity, or providing what each individual needs to succeed. The research shows true fairness often requires going beyond equal treatment to ensure equitable outcomes for individuals regardless of the background and circumstances. Equal treatment and equitable treatment are two distinct approaches to fairness in education and research. While both aim to create a fair environment, they differed significantly in their implementation and outcome. Equal treatment focuses on providing identical resources, opportunities, and support to all individuals regardless of their background or specific needs. In a research context, this might mean giving all participants in a study the same instructions or same materials and the time to complete tasks. While this approach may seem fair on the surface, it often fails to account for the diverse needs and circumstances of individuals, potentially perpetuating or even exacerbating existing disparities. Equitable treatment, on the other hand, recognizes that individuals have different starting points and needs. It aims to provide personalized support and resources to ensure that everyone has a fair chance to succeed. In research, this could involve making accommodation for participants with disabilities, providing translation services for non-narrative speakers, or offering additional support to those from disadvantaged backgrounds. The key difference lies in the outcomes. Equal treatment may lead to unequal results due to pre-existing disparities, while equitable treatment seeks to level the playing field and give everyone a genuine opportunity to succeed. As noted in Education Week article, treating students fairly means providing students with equal access to specific kinds of support and depth of support that they need. In practice, implementing equitable treatment can be more complex and resource intensive than equal treatment. It requires careful consideration of individual needs and circumstances, as well as flexibility in research design and implementation. However, it often leads to more valid and representative results, especially when studying diverse population. Thus, researchers and educators must strive to balance these approaches, ensuring basic equality in terms of respect and opportunity, while also providing equitable support where needed. This balanced approach can help create a more inclusive and fairer environment in both educational and research settings, ultimately leading to more accurate and meaningful outcomes. Now, what are the principles of non-discrimination and their application in different settings? The principle of non-discrimination is fundamental to human rights and is crucial in various settings, including research, education, employment, and healthcare. Its applications aims to ensure fair and equal treatment for all individuals, regardless of their characteristics or background. Equal treatment is a core principle of non-discrimination, requiring that similar situations be treated similarly. In research settings, this might involve providing all participants with the same test condition in a study on academic performance, for example. However, it is important to note that equal treatment doesn't always result in equality of outcome, as individuals may have different starting points or needs. Reasonable accommodation recognizes that true equality sometimes requires different treatment to level the playing field. Meaning, in a cognitive function study, this could involve providing assistive technology to participate with disabilities. This principle is particularly important in workplace setting where employers may need to modify equipment or schedules to enable employees with disabilities to perform their job duties effectively. The prohibitions of direct discriminations forbids treating someone less favorably based on protected characteristics such as race, gender, or disability. In medical research, this principle would prevent the exclusion of participants based solely on their race or ethnicity. In healthcare setting, it ensures the treatment decisions are based on medical factors rather than personal characteristics. Indirect discrimination occurs when a neutral provisions criterion or practice puts certain groups at a particular disadvantage. A hiring study using criteria that disproportionately exclude certain groups without justification would be an example of this. In unemployment settings, this principle requires employers to review job requirements to ensure they don't unnecessarily disadvantage protected groups. Positive action, also known as affirmative action in some contexts, involves taking specific steps to promote equality for disadvantaged groups. In research, this might involve targeted recruitment of underrepresented groups for a study on a diverse field. Educational institution often apply this principle through outreach programs designed to encourage minority participation in a certain academic fields. Therefore, educational institutions must be particularly attentive to ensure equal access and treatment for all students. In research settings, these principles are crucial for ensuring ethical conduct and valid results. By applying these principles consistently across various settings, we can work towards creating more inclusive and equitable societies. However, it is important to recognize that the implementation of non-discrimination discrimination, principles is an ongoing process that requires continuous evaluation and adjustment to address evolving societal needs and challenges. Now let's talk about rights to protection from discomfort and harm. By recognizing potential resources of discomfort and harm in research and daily life. Recognizing potential sources of discomfort and harm is crucial for ethical research practice and protecting participants' well-being. Researchers have a fundamental responsibility to anticipate, minimize, and address these risks throughout the research process. Physical harm is perhaps the most obvious concern, particularly in medical or experimental research. This range from minor discomfort to serious injury or adverse health effects. For example, a study testing a new medication might cause unexpected side effects in participants. Researchers must carefully assess these risks and implement safety protocols to protect subjects. Psychological distress is a significant concern as well, especially in studies dealing with sensitive topics. For instance, research involving trauma survivors may trigger anxiety, depressions, or retraumat- retraumatization when participants recount their experiences. Researchers should be prepared to provide appropriate support and referrals to mental health services if needed. Social stigma can arise when participation in a study might reveal sensitive information about a subject. For example, research on HIV or AIDS or mental health conditions could potentially expose participants to discrimination if their involvement becomes known. Researchers must ensure strict confidentiality and consider the broader social implication on their work. Economic harm, on the other hand, is often overlooked but can be significant, particularly in long-term or time-intensive studies. Participants may lose wages or job opportunities due to time spent in research activities. Researchers should consider fair compensation and flexible scheduling to mitigate these risks. What about invasion of privacy? And this is a growing concern, especially with the increasing collection of personal data. Studies that delve into these sensitive behaviors or collect extensive personal information may cause discomfort or anxiety among participants. Thus, robust data protection measures and clear communication about data usage are essential. Unintended consequences can occur when research findings have implication beyond the study itself. For instance, a study on workplace dynamics might unintentionally reveal employee dissatisfaction, potentially leading to negative consequences for participants. Researchers must consider these broader impacts and take steps to protect subjects from harm. Thus, recognizing these potential sources of discomfort and harm Researchers can design studies that minimize risk and implement appropriate safeguards and ensure the ethical treatment of participants. This awareness also extends to daily life, where similar consideration can help individuals navigate potentially harmful situations and protect their well-being. There's a ethical principle of beneficence concerning human subjects research. This obligates researchers to act in the best interest of their participants and society at large. This principle goes beyond simply avoiding harm or what we call non-maleficence and requires active efforts to secure the well-being of research subjects. In practice, beneficence in research involves a careful balancing act. Researchers must strive to maximize the potential benefits of their studies while simultaneously minimizing risk to participants. This often requires thoughtful study design, implementations of safety protocols, and ongoing monitoring of participants' well-being. While beneficence also entails special consideration for vulnerable populations, researchers must take extra precautions to protect those with diminished autonomy, such as children, prisoners, or individuals with cognitive impairments. This might involve additional safeguards, modified consent procedures, or even exclusion from high-risk studies. The principles extends to the broader impacts of research as well. Researchers should consider not only the immediate outcomes of their studies, but also potential long consequences for participants and communities. This is particularly important in social and behavioral research, where interventions may have far-reaching effects. Importantly, beneficence is in research is not just about good intentions. It requires concrete actions and careful planning. Researchers must conduct thorough risk-benefit analysis, implement robust safety measures, and be prepared to adjust or halt studies if unforeseen risks emerge. And by adhering to this principle of beneficence, researchers ensures that their work not only advances scientific knowledge, but also promotes the well-being of those who makes the advancement possible through their participations. These ethical foundations is crucial for maintaining public trust in the research enterprise and ensuring the scientific progress align with societal values. Let's look strategies to minimize risk and protect individuals from harm. Minimizing risk and protecting research participants from harm is a fundamental ethical obligation for researchers. This responsibility extends beyond simply avoiding intentional harm and requires proactive strategies to anticipate, prevent, and mitigate potential risks throughout the research process. Sound research design is the foundation of this minimization. How? By conducting thorough literature reviews and carefully planning studies procedures. Researchers can ensure that their work builds on existing knowledge and avoids unnecessary risks. This approach not only protects participants but also contributes to the overall quality and validity of the research. Implementing robust safety protocols is crucial, especially in studies involving medical intervention or potentially stressful situations. Having trained personnel available to respond to emergencies and establishing clear procedures for addressing adverse events can significantly reduce the potential for harm. These measures demonstrate a commitment to participant well-being and help build trust in research process. Protecting participants' privacy is essential in all types of research, but it becomes particularly critical when dealing with sensitive topics. Using code identifiers, securely storing data, and carefully managing access to identifying information's helps safeguard participants from potential social, economic, and legal harm that could result from their involvement in the study. Obtaining truly informed consent is a cornerstone of ethical research. This involves providing clear, comprehensive information about the study procedures, risks, and potential benefits in language that participants can easily understand. By ensuring that participants are fully aware of what their involvement entails, researchers empower them to make informed decisions about participations. In this digital age, implementing strong data security measures has become increasingly important. Using encryption, secured storage system, and strict access controls helps protect participant data from unauthorized access or breaches. This is particularly crucial for studies collecting sensitive personal information or conducting research online. Finally, an ongoing monitoring for adverse effect is also vital, especially in long-term or in interventional studies. Establishing data safety monitoring plans and regularly reviewing study data allows researchers to identify and address any unexpected negative effects quickly. This proactive approach helps protect participants from harm and maintain the ethical integrity of research. And by implementing these strategies, researchers can create a safer, more ethical research environment that protects participants while advancing scientific knowledge. It is important to remember that this minimization is an ongoing process that requires constant vigilance and adaptation as new challenges and technologies emerge in land and in research landscape. Locally, we have Philippine National Health Research System Act of 2013. Let me discuss the outline uh, of their key objectives and the component of this PNHRS. The Philippine National Health Research System Act of 2013 institutionalizes a comprehensive framework for health research in the Philippines. This system is designed to improve the health status, productivity, and quality of life of Filipinos through coordinated and effective health research initiatives. The PNHRS emphasizes the importance of aligning research with actual health system needs. For instance, a study on community-based dengue prevention programs directly addresses a prevalent health issues in the Philippines, ensuring that research outcomes can be immediately applicable to improving public health strategies. By focusing on maximizing benefits from health research investments, the PNHR aims to ensure that limited resources are used efficiently. A cost-effective analysis of COVID-19 vaccination strategies, for example, can provide crucial information for policymakers to make informed decisions about resource allocations during a health crisis. The promotion of good governance in health research is a key component of the PNHRS. This includes implementing standardized ethical review processes, which helps maintain the integrity of research and protects the rights of the and welfare of research participants. The PNHRS also recognizes the value of partnerships in advancing research in terms of health. Collaborative studies such as research on traditional medicine with international institutions can bring in diverse expertise and resources, potentially leading to more comprehensive and impactful research outcomes. Ensuring the sustainability of resources of health research is also crucial for long-term progress. The establishment of a National Health Research Fund, as envisioned by PNHRS, can provide consistent support for ongoing and future research projects. Finally, the PNHRS framework extends to all regions of the Philippines, though regional health research systems allows for research that is tailored to local health concerns, such as studies on malnutrition in specific rural areas, ensuring that health research benefits all Filipinos, regardless of their location. The Philippine National Health Research Systems plays a crucial role in improving health research and healthcare in the Philippines. By institutionalizing a coordinated approach to health research, the PNHRS ensures that research efforts are aligned with the country's health priorities and contribute to evidence-informed health policies and actions. One of the key strengths of the PNHRS is its focus on linking research to health system needs. This ensures that research efforts are directed towards addressing the most pressing health issues faced by Filipinos. For example, studies on community-based dengue prevention programs directly contribute for tackling a prevalent health concerns in the country. The PNHRS also aims to maximize the benefits from health research investment. By prioritizing research topics based on national health agendas, the system helps ensures that limited resources are used efficiently. This is particularly important in the context of emerging health challenges, such as the COVID-19 pandemic, where timely and relevant research can significantly impact public health strategies. Promoting good governance in health research is another crucial aspect of PNHRS. By implementing standardized ethical review processes and emphasizing transparent research management, the system helps maintain the integrity of health research in the Philippines. This not only protects research participants but also builds public trust in research enterprise. The PNHRS recognizes the importance of partnership in advancing health research. By encouraging collaboration between local researchers and international institutions, the system facilitates knowledge and exchange and capacity building. This is particularly valuable in areas such as traditional medicine research, where combining local knowledge with international enterprise or expertise can lead to innovative health solutions. Ensuring the sustainability of resources for health research is a key objective of the PNHRS. The establishment of National Health Research Fund, as envisioned by the system, can provide consistent support for ongoing and future research projects. This long-term approach is essential for building a robust health research ecosystem in the Philippines. And finally, the PNHRS regional approach allows for research that addresses local health concerns. By mirroring the PNHRS framework in all regions of the Philippines. The system ensures that health research benefits all Filipinos, regardless of their locations. This decentralized approach is particularly important in a country with a diverse geographic and cultural landscapes, where health challenges may vary significantly between regions. In summary, the PNHRS plays a vital role in improving health research and healthcare in the Philippines by ensuring that research is relevant, ethical, well-resourced, and aligned with national and regional health priorities. This coordinated approach to health research has potential to significantly impact public health outcomes and contributes to all improvement of the Philippine healthcare system. The PNHRS is a collaborative effort involving multiple stakeholders and wherein each playing a crucial role in advancing health research in the Philippines. The Department of Science and Technology, or DOST, serves as a lead agency chairing the PNHRS Governing Council. Its role is to provide overall direction and ensure that health research aligns with national science and technology priorities. For instance, the OST might oversee a national study on the efficacy of traditional herbal medicines, combining scientific rigor with local knowledge. The Department of Health, or the DOH, co-chairs the governing council, ensuring that health research is directly linked to the country's health system needs. An example of DOH involvement might be researching the effectiveness of community-based health programs, which can directly inform health policy and practices. The on Higher Education, or CHED, plays also a vital role in integrating health research into higher education. CHED might support research on improving health education's curricula, contributing to the development of future health researchers and practitioners. The University of Manila, or the UPM, brings academic expertise to the PNHRS. UPM might lead complex research projects such as studies on emerging infectious diseases in the Philippines. This leveraging its research facilities and expert faculty. The Philippine Council for Health Research and Development, or the PCHRD, acts as the PNHRS Secretariat, in which they coordinating the implementation of programs and providing technical support. The PCHRD might manage research grant programs for youth health scientists, fostering the next generations of researchers. The Philippine Health Research Ethics Board ensures that all health research adheres to ethical standards. For example, PHREB might develop guidelines for ethical conduct of COVID-19 vaccine trials, protecting research participants while facilitating crucial research. The PNHRS framework at the local level, meaning they might conduct research on region-specific health issues. So, regional siya. Such as malnutrition in particular rural areas, ensuring that the research addresses local needs. Private sector's representative on the governing council bring industry perspective to health research. They might collaborate on research for innovative medical devices, bridging the gap between academic research and practical application. By involving these diverse stakeholders, the PNHRS ensures a comprehensive approach to health research that addresses national priorities, thus maintaining ethical standards and translates research findings into improved health outcomes for Filipinos. We have link if you want to see the PHREP policies and guidelines. And now let's talk about the social value. Speaking of the PNHRS, they places a strong emphasis on the social value of health research, ensuring the research efforts contribute meaningfully to improving the health and well-being of Filipinos. And this focus on social value is evident in several key aspects of the PNHRS framework. Firstly, the PNHRS prioritizes research that addresses the health system needs of the Philippines. By aligning research with the National Unified Health Research Agenda or NURA, the system ensures that studies tackle pressing health issues such as dengue prevention or the implementation of the universal health care. This approach maximizes the potential impact of research on public health outcomes. The system also aims to maximize the benefits from health research investments by focusing on priority health topics and promoting cost effectiveness analysis. The PNHRS ensures that limited resources are used efficiently to address critical health challenges. This is particularly important in the context of emerging health threats and limited research fundings. And promoting good governance in health research is another crucial aspect of the PNHRS that contributes to its social value. By implementing standardized ethical review processes and emphasizing transparent research management, the system helps maintain the integrity of health research in the Philippines. This not only protects research participants but also builds public trust in research enterprise. The PNHRS recognizes the importance of partnership in enhancing the social value of health research. Recent initiatives such as social innovation and entrepreneurship in health program. This demonstrate the system's commitment to fostering collaborations that can lead to innovative community-driven health solutions. Finally, the PNHR aims to ensure the sustainability of resources for health research through the establishment of the Philippine National Health Research Funds. This long-term approach to funding is essential for building a robust health research ecosystem that can consistently deliver value to the Philippine society. Thus, focusing on this aspect, the PNHRS strives to ensure that the health research in the Philippines not only advances scientific knowledge but also translates into tangible improvement in the health and quality of life of Filipino people. Let's now proceed to one important concept in research in terms of ethics, ethico-legal. And this is the informed consent. Informed consent is fundamental ethical requirement in research involving human participants. It ensures that individuals make a voluntary and informed decision about their participation in a study. The process involves providing potential participants with comprehensive information about the research and obtaining their agreement to participate. The Philippine Health Research Ethics Board emphasizes the importance of informed consent in its guidelines. Researchers must ensure that the participant understand the nature of research, their role in it, and any potential risks or benefits. This information should be presented in non-technical language that is easily understood by the prospective participants. For research involving minors or individuals with diminished capacity to decide, special considerations apply. Researchers must obtain assent from the participant in addition to consent from a legally acceptable representative. The requirements for assent vary by age, ranging from verbal assent for younger children to signing simplified forms for older minors. In some cases, a waiver of consent may be granted by the Research Ethics Committee. This typically applies to research presenting minimal risk, such as certain types of archival research or naturalistic observation studies. However, such waivers must be justified and approved by the Ethics Committee. And by adhering to these informed consent principles, researchers respect the autonomy of participants and ensure ethical conduct in their studies. This process not only protects participants but also builds the trust in the research enterprise, contributing to overall integrity of scientific research in the Philippines. Vulnerability of research participants. Vulnerability in research participants is a complex and multifaceted concept that requires careful consideration by researchers and ethics committees. The various types of vulnerability can often overlap and compound, making it crucial for researchers to approach participant protection holistically. First, cognitive vulnerability is particularly important in studies involving participants with mental impairments or those in situations that impede their decision-making capacity. For instance, in a study involving dementia patients, researchers must ensure that consent procedures are adapted to the participants' cognitive abilities and that additional safeguards are in place to protect their interests. Juridic vulnerability arises when participants are under the authority of others who might influence their decisions to participate. In prison-based research, for example, extra precautions must be taken to ensure that prisoners' participation is truly voluntary and not coerced by their circumstances. Differential vulnerability can be subtle but significant. In workplace studies, employees might feel compelled to participate due to perceived expectations from superiors. Researchers must design recruitment and consent processes that minimize this pressure. Medical vulnerability is often seen in clinical trials involving seriously ill patients. These participants may be more willing to accept risks due to their conditions, necessitating careful ethical consideration and clear communication of potential benefits and risks. Allocational vulnerability is particularly relevant in research involving economically disadvantaged populations. Researchers must ensure the compensation of provision of services does not unduly influence participation's decision. Infrastructural vulnerability relates to the research setting itself. In studies conducted in underdeserved areas, researchers must assess whether the local infrastructure can support the ethical conduct of the study and implement additional safeguards if necessary. Recognizing these vulnerabilities is crucial for ethical research conduct. Researchers must implement appropriate protective measures, such as enhanced consent procedures, independent participant advocates, or additional oversight to ensure that vulnerable participants are adequately protected while still benefiting from research participation. What about risks, benefits, and safety? These are fundamental considerations in ethical research. Researchers have a responsibility to carefully assess potential risks to participants, implement strategies to minimize these risks, and ensure that any remaining risks are justified by the potential benefits of the research. Physical risks are often the most apparent, particularly in medical research. For example, a clinical trial testing a new cancer treatment may expose participants to potential side effects. Researchers must thoroughly evaluate these risks, implement safety protocols, and continuously monitor participants' well being throughout the study. Psychological risks can be equally significant, especially in studies dealing with sensitive topics. A study involving trauma survivors recounting their experiences could potentially lead to traumatization or emotional distress. In such cases, researchers should have support systems in place, such as access to counseling services, and carefully design the study to minimize psychological harm. Social and economic risks are sometimes overlooked but can have significant impacts on participants. Research on stigmatized health conditions, for instance, could potentially expose participants to discrimination if their involvement becomes known. Researchers must implement robust confidentiality measures and consider broader social implications of their work. Benefits in research can be direct to the participant or indirect to the society. A study offering access to a new treatment for a chronic conditions, for example, provides a potential direct benefit to participants. However, many studies may not offer direct benefits to participants but contribute to a broader societal benefits, such as advancing medical knowledge or improving public health strategies. Risk minimization is a key ethical obligation. Researchers should always seek ways to reduce risk without compromising the scientific integrity of the study. This might involve using existing data sources where possible, combining research procedures with standard care, or employing less invasive data collection methods. Safety monitoring is crucial, particularly in higher risk studies. Implementing mechanisms such data safety monitoring boards allows for ongoing evaluation of risks and benefits throughout the study, ensuring that participant safety remains the top priority. All in all, the careful balance of risk, benefits, and safety measures is at the heart of ethical research practice. By thoroughly assessing these factors and implementing appropriate safeguards, researchers can conduct valuable studies while protecting the well-being and right of their participants. Now let's talk about privacy and confidentiality of information. These privacy and confidentiality are also fundamental ethical principles in research involving human subjects. They are crucial for protecting participants, building trust, and maintaining the integrity of research process. Privacy in research refers to an individual's right to control access in their personal information. This includes the right to decide what information to share, when, and with whom. In the example of on sensitive health behaviors using anonymous online surveys, participants can choose their information to disclose without fear of being identified. And this approach respects their privacy and may lead to more honest response. Confidentiality, on the other hand, relates to how research projects information that has been shared with them. In a study on a workplace discrimination, for example, assigning codes to participants instead of using their names helps maintain the confidentiality of sensitive data. This is particularly important when the disclosure of information could potentially harm the participants. Data protection involves technical and organizational measures to safeguard research data. Encrypting electronic health records in a medical study adds a crucial layer of security, protecting sensitive health information from an unauthorized access or breaches. Informed consent is another process wherein researchers explain how participant information will be used and protected. In a genetic research project, for instance, clearly explaining data handling procedures helps participants make informed decisions about their involvement and builds trust in the research process. Anonymization is a technique used to protect participant identity while still allowing valuable data to be analyzed and shared. In a study involving trauma survivors, for example, removing identifiers from interview transcripts help protect participant privacy while preserving the research value of their experiences. Proper data storage practices, such as storing consent forms separately from research data in locked cabinets, provide an additional layer of protection. These physical separations of identifying informations from research data reduces the risk of privacy breaches. What about justice in research? The principles of justice is in research ethics is fundamentally about fairness and equity. It ensures that the benefits and burdens of research are distributed fairly among different groups in society. That no group is exploited or unfairly excluded from research participation or its benefits. Fair selections of participants is crucial. Historically, certain groups such as prisoner or economically disadvantaged individuals have been overrepresented in research due to their easy availability, while others have been excluded. Justice requires that participants be selected based on scientific criteria relevant to research questions, not convenience or vulnerability. Equitable distribution of risks and benefits is another key aspect. While it's important to protect vulnerable populations from exploitation, it's equally important not to exclude them from potentially beneficial research. For instance, a clinical trial for a new cancer treatment should strive to include participants from diverse socioeconomic backgrounds to ensure that the potential benefits and risks are fairly distributed. Inclusions of underrepresented groups is increasingly recognized as a matter of justice. Historical exclusion of women and minorities from clinical trials, for example, has led to significant knowledge gaps about how treatment affects these populations. Justice now demands active efforts to include diverse population in research. Consideration of cultural differences is also essential for just research practices. Researchers must be sensitive to and respectful to cultural beliefs and practices when designing and to conducting studies. This might involve adapting research protocols or communication methods to ensure fair treatment of all participants. Finally, justice requires that the population bearing the risk of research should also stand to benefit from its results. This is particularly important in international research, where studies conducted in developing countries should ensure that successful treatments or intervention will be made available to local population. Thus, the principle of justice in research ethics goes beyond mere equal treatment. It requires careful consideration on how research participants are selected, how risks and benefits are distributed, and how results of research can benefit all of society, including those who bore the risk of participation. Transparency. Transparency is a fundamental principles in ethical research practice, promoting openness and accountability throughout the research process. It enhances the credibility and integrity of scientific work by allowing for scrutiny, replication, and building upon existing knowledge. Study registration, particularly in clinical trials, helps prevent selective reporting of outcomes and allows the research community to see what studies are being conducted. This practice reduces publication bias and helps avoid duplication of efforts. Data sharing is also crucial for advancing scientific knowledge. By making anonymized data available, researchers enable others to verify results, conduct new analysis, and combine datasets for more comprehensive studies. And this participate also promotes efficient use of resources, especially for public funded research. Methodological transparency involves providing detailed information about research procedures. This allows other researchers to assess the validity of the methods used and potentially replicate the study. In fields like psychology or neuroscience, where experimental procedures can be complex, this level of detail is essential for understanding and building upon research findings. Reporting all results, including null or negative findings, is vital for presenting a complete and unbiased picture of research outcomes. This practice helps combat the file drawer problems, where studies with non-significant results often go unpublished, leading to skewed representation of evidence in the literature. There are open access publishing. This ensures that research findings are freely available to all, not just those with access to expensive journal subscriptions. This democratization of knowledge is particularly important for publicly funded research and can accelerate scientific progress by allowing wider access to cutting edge findings. Sharing analysis code, especially in computationally intensive fields like climate modeling or bioinformatics, this allows other researchers to understand exactly how data process and results were obtained. This level of transparency enables thorough peer review and facilitate the reproduction and extension of research findings. And by embracing this aspect of transparency, researchers contribute to a more open, collaborative, and trustworthy scientific ecosystem. This approach not only enhances the quality and impact of individual studies, but also promotes the overall advancement of scientific knowledge.